everybody, today we're going to be discussing a highly requested topic, which is how to improve your communication skills. So let's get started.
Leek Otaya, hands down, her audition video is the main reason why she's the strongest contender for the win. She's not only stunning, but she's got a very, very strong profile. And the way she speaks is just superb. I'm super impressed. She sounded firm, smart, very confident.
So one of the best speakers in this pageant has to be Miss India Punjab, Leek. I am in awe of the way she uses her platform, how clear she is with the way she articulates her thoughts. And if she has been impressing the organization as much as she has impressed me, then I see her in the top 12 for sure.
Expressive and one of the very well-spoken girl in this batch. And
well, first of all, I would like to thank Alvin, Nikita and Amit respectively for being so nice and saying such nice things during the course of my pageant. It was very helpful and very motivating. The reason I put it in this video was to show you that apart from calling someone like beautiful or like great personality or like great presence, one thing that everybody would say is well-spoken, good communicator, knows how to articulate her thoughts, can put what she's thinking into words, and those things are very important. I do realize that it was my strongest suit, but I also want to let you know that if you find somebody who's speaking really well, they've practiced and they've had a life as such where they've come over their fear of speaking and have become good at it with time. Communication is an art. And one thing that I want to reiterate is that knowing English does not make you a good communicator. मैं अगर हिंदी में भी बात करूँ, मैं उतने ही अच्छे से बात कर सकती हूँ और जो मैं बोलना चाहूँ, मैं उतने ही अच्छे से बता सकती हूँ आपको. And that does not really change in terms of the language I'm speaking. That changes with how I'm speaking. It's not what you speak, it's how you speak it. So without further ado, I'm going to give you a few pointers that you should follow through.
Before we go into the video, I just want to let you know that if you want to interact with me personally one-on-one to clear all your pageant queries, life before the pageant, life during the pageant and after, all you have to do is fill the form in the description. I'll see you soon.
The first thing that I want to suggest is for you to watch TED Talks. TED Talks, commencement speeches that a lot of big dignitaries give at Ivy League colleges. They are very, very helpful, not only to understand that the way they're speaking, but to also, you can also pinpoint who are the good speakers and who are not just by yourself. You don't necessarily have to be a good one. But how do you do that is by gauging how much of what they're saying can you understand. You understand layman language, you don't understand a lot of jargons when they put difficult words across. It bounces off your head very often if you don't have that in your vocabulary. Easy words, the way they're speaking, the command that they hold not only on stage but also individual, person to person, because they do show you audience reactions and you get to know like who is a good speaker and who's not, and you can take takeaways from it. The second one is reading books, not necessarily self-help books, not necessarily memoirs or autobiographies by amazing people. Yes, they will help you get an insight and broaden your perspective and understand how people are doing across the world. But even fiction books, you don't have to read books that the world tells you that you should read. You just have to read books that you like the blurb of, even if it is a fictional book, if it's romance, if it's just it's anything, you know, anything that you enjoy. But just reading the words and understanding how they're written help you articulate your thoughts better as well. The third, and I think the most important one, and something that we should all make use of considering we're in the generation where we have cameras and videos, is recording yourself. I know people speak about talking in front of the mirror, and yes, it is great, but you can't replay it. And while it's happening, your brain might find it a little hard to process and judge you at the same time when you're speaking. Yes, you can understand your body languages and if there are certain twitches in your face or if your eyes are doing weird things while looking in the mirror, but you can improve so much more if you record yourself and view it. So what I would do is record 1-minute videos of myself on any topic. I would make sure that whatever I had to say, something as hard as bill that was passed against anti-abortion, or something as easy as making a banana smoothie. What can you say in 1 minute? How can you make it effective? How can you use the right words? And how can you not, trail off and finish crisp? Because in today's world, nobody really has the time. Attention span in general of human beings are really less, and you should be able to put your point across really quickly. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just about you, even though in pageants we do talk about ourselves. The most that we're communicating is our experiences and our journeys, but you should be able to know 10 times more of what you're actually saying. So if I do talk about me having an army background, I should actually know what the army is. I don't necessarily need to say it across, but the most influential, the most successful, the most well-spoken people are people who know more than what they're saying. So they're not limited to just their speech or just their notes. And that's when, even if you trail off, even if you don't have a script, you will always have something to say because you know more than what you're saying. Next thing is, I would recommend you write. Journaling is so important, and I know it seems like such a feminine thing to do, and I don't necessarily mean write paragraphs about each thought you have, because that is going to be time consuming. Give yourself 15 minutes a day. Okay, you can journal for 15 minutes a day. Start with bullet points as to what you did, and maybe a line after what you did on how you felt about it. And that way, you yourself will be able to understand yourself better. And that is so important. A lot of times when you are writing, you are introspecting, and you come across certain, and it goes way wider. Of course, the ripple effect of journaling is so much more, but the reason I'm including this in this communication video is to tell you that it helps you articulate your thoughts better. The next tip I'm going to give you is to get out of your comfort zone. I know so many people say it, but I'll tell you practically how you can do it. It could be maybe attending seminars in your colleges or offices or schools, and when the speaker asks any questions, raise a hand, actually have a question, and which doesn't necessarily mean that you have to listen to every single word, but anything. Maybe you listen to the last 5 minutes of the 1-hour lecture, but you just being able to stand up and ask a question and really tell yourself, you know what, it's fine if it's stupid, it's fine if the teacher is just going to be like, abhi to bola tha maine, you can't listen or what. That's her problem or his problem, because that's probably just not a good teacher if they're trying to belittle you for the question that you have, or they were just asking it out of formality. But it's going to help you just feel a little more confident the next time and the next time, and then you're going to come up with better questions. If you never try, you'll never learn. And go to different places, if it's possible, go to workshops, go to different classes, go to open mics, and if you can, give yourself a challenge to push yourself through and be able to ask something or to speak something in front of a group. You'll realize that a lot of people are very accepting and will actually not make fun of you, and it in turn will give you a confidence boost, and you will know the things that you probably said were right or the things that you could improve the next time. There are a lot of times you will hear somebody speak, maybe a title holder, or maybe somebody who just comes across and is giving a very powerful motivational speech, has done big things in life, but you just don't relate to them. Not because the things they're saying is not relatable, but just because they don't seem genuine or authentic, or they don't come across as someone जो आपके दिल को नहीं छू गया वो इंसान. How do you become a person who is authentic when speaking? How do you become the person whose kindness sparks out of their eyes and whose smiles show genuineness? It is through gratitude. The way a person will speak, and the reason that most of you relate to me, if you are watching me right now, there's a reason you've chosen to subscribe. If you haven't, please subscribe. The reason you've chosen to watch me is because you relate with me, right? You understand what I'm saying, and that's coming because I understand myself. And that again goes back to journaling and doing a lot of self-healing and inner work. Much broader perspective, baby steps. Start with journaling. Now, these are a few things that I want you to keep a check on when you are speaking. The first thing is your speed. I know I say that you can increase the video ka speed and then watch the whole video because you are trying to get information, but there are a lot of times that I myself reduce the speed of a certain video if I'm trying to watch an author. I was recently watching an author giving giving a summary of his book, and he was so fast when he was speaking, and I was like, I'm not able to understand it, and I had to reduce the speed to 0.75 and then listen to him. And that happens because sometimes we speak faster than the other person can understand, and that has happened with me too. I have been told about this, and I've realized this too, that know when to slow your speed down so that you are able to actually make the person in front of you understand what you're saying. I mean, that is the whole purpose of communication, right? Which comes to the next point, which is taking pauses. You will realize even when I'm speaking, I'm not saying everything at one time at a go. I'm saying one thing at a time, and that is why you are able to understand what I'm saying. Take pauses in between your lines. See that when you have to emphasize on certain words, make sure there is a pause before that. It's how you retain your audience's attention. Third thing is tone. Now, there are two tones that I'm going to speak in. I'm going to say that tone is really important, and that is why we have to keep a check on it. I'm going to say that tone is very essential in how you're going to put across words. The only, of course, apart from the lines that were different, the thing that was different was I was not speaking from my chest, I was speaking from my belly. I'll tell you where I learned this. It was not through a communication class. I used to go for singing classes, and I would notice that when you sing, if you sang from your throat, your raga could. I was a Carnatic singer. The raga kind of cuts short, and you have to be able to sing from your. You have to take a lot of air inside your belly so that you can sing longer. And that's the same when it comes to speaking also. You speak from your chest, you're going to have shallow breaths, you're going to, like break in between because you're not going to be able to get through a long sentence without taking breaths, and it's going to break your communication. So take deep breaths and take it from your belly. I've been doing this for the last few minutes that I've been speaking, but I have not made it as obvious as, so today I'm gonna, but that happens because it's practice, and I've learned that now. I know how to, I can sound squeaky, especially as females. We tend to have a higher pitch than men, and that also kind of makes us ineffective when getting across, because it's scientifically proven that deeper voices hold more attention. So how do you make your voice deeper? Speak from your belly, speak from your diaphragm. There is a and there's a I don't know if that helps, but try it. Thing is expressions. You cannot have too many expressions. You can't have too little expressions. I could say a line like this: being the Miss India is one of the biggest challenges that I've ever had to face, and I've come off really strong. Or I could say, being Miss India has been one of the most important things, and I have come off very strong. Or I can say, being Miss India is one of the biggest challenges I have ever had to face, and I have come back very strong. I was not expressing too much, but I was expressing enough so that you actually realize that I was feeling what I was saying. So those were all the things I had to say, things that you can practice upon. I hope you've made notes of these things, and the next time you do the things that I've told you, you also record yourself and you keep a check on how you're speaking and keep a check on all of these little things that I told you. You could watch as many how to become a better communicator videos and might also master those skills, but don't lose yourself in that process. And by that I mean, I have seen some extremely well groomed communicators during my Miss India journey, but they just happen to speak without really having an authenticity to themselves. You know, you let your personality shine through. If you're quirky, if you're funny, if you are sarcastic, if you're going to fake your accent, it will show. If you are going to use stale quotes, it will show. If you are not going to feel what you're saying and you're just saying it for the sake of it because you have some lines in your head and you're just putting it across, it will show. So authenticity is very important, and that comes from knowledge as well. I would just like to conclude by saying, wow, this really sounds like a speech, but I would just like to conclude by saying that being a good communicator is going to help you in all facets of your life, in all fields. Of course, talent and skill is extremely important, but if you are able to put across what you know, you are always going to be one step ahead. So if you want to be a good communicator, you have to be able to practice it, and it will always give you an advantage over other people. That is it. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I do respond to all the comments, and please subscribe, please like this video, please share it with people. This wasn't very pageant specific, but I know that people have been asking this question over and over again, and I just wanted to tell you that this hasn't just helped me in pageants. Of course, it gave me a lot of recognition, but it has also helped me in interviews. It has also helped me when I've had to suddenly speak on stage, or I've had to give a speech, or even small family gatherings or anything. These are things I've learned and I've acquired over time. It wasn't something that was just gifted to me. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So practice it, and I will see you next time. Please let me know what are the other things that you want to watch. I do have a few things in mind, but I will see you super soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.